Welcome back. Today we are going to continue our solving linear systems by substitution. So this is just the second day. This is going to get a little bit more in depth. First we're going to start with a review. We are going to solve for y when x equals 4. So we are going to take that 4 and we are just going to plug it in right for x. So we get 5 times 4 minus 2y equals 30. 5 times 4, well, that is 20. Minus 2y equals 30. So we need to get y by itself, so we need to subtract 20 first because it's positive. And we get negative 2y equals 10. Last step, divide by negative 2 because they're touching, which means multiply, and the opposite of that is division. And we get y equals 10 divided by negative 2, which is negative 5. So if we solve for y equals negative 5. The next problem, it says, which ordered pair is a solution of the linear system x plus 2y equals negative 8 and negative 4x plus y equals 5? Well, there's no really easy way to do this, so we are just going to have to plug them in. First thing we got to do is plug in our first point into the first equation just to see if it works. So this is our x and that's our y. So we have 2 plus 2 times negative 3 equals negative 8. 2 times negative 3, that's negative 6. 2 minus 6, well, 2 minus 6 equals negative 8. And negative 8, oh, sorry, 2 minus 6 does not equal negative 8. That equals negative 4. Negative 4 does not equal negative 8. So we know that our first problem does not work already. We don't even need to put in to the other equation. Alright, we are going to try the next one then. Negative 2, negative 3. We have an x and a y. So we start with negative 2. Then we have plus 2 times negative 3 equals negative 8. Well, so now we have 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. And negative 2 minus 6 equals negative 8. Negative 2 minus 6, that equals negative 8. And negative 8 equals negative 8. So yes, this one works. But we're not done. We need to figure out if negative 2, negative 3 works in our other equation. So what we need to do then is continue putting in for our x and y. So we have negative 4 times negative 2 plus our y, which is negative 3, equals 5. Negative 4 times negative 2, that equals negative 8, positive 8, plus a negative 3. Well, if we continue on with that then, 8 plus negative 3, well, that's 5. That's basically saying 8 minus 3. And 5 equals 5. So, yes, this one does work. So it works for both, and that means that B is our answer. -2, -3 works for both of our equations. Now we're going to get back into substitution. We have 6x plus 35 equals y, and 5x minus 2y equals -35. So we already have y by itself, so we are going to take this 6x plus 35, and we're going to replace it with our y. So what our problem is going to look like then is 5x minus 2, and then we're replacing y with 6x plus 35. Equals -35. So then we got to draw our box. -2. -2 times 6x is -12x. -2 times 35, that's -70. So we get 5x minus 12x minus 70 equals -35. We have two x's on the same side, so we have to combine those. 5x minus 12x, that's -7x minus 70 equals -35. So we need to now get y or x by itself. So we're going to add 70 to both sides. And we get -7x equals -35 plus 70, well that's just 35. Positive 35. And then divide by 7. And we get x equals 35 divided by -7. That's a -5. So x equals -5. Now remember, we're still looking for a answer in xy form. So we know our x, we just found that. We said that was -5. We don't know our y yet though. So what we're going to do is replace this -5 in for one of our x's. Let's just take it for this one because we already have y by itself. So then our problem is going to look like this. 6 times -5 plus 35 equals y. Well, 6 times -5, that's -30 plus 35. -30 plus 35, that's just 5, equals y. So now we know what our y is, and our y is 5. So our answer to this problem then is -5, 5. Next problem. We have 4x plus 6y equals 4, and x equals 2y minus 6. So we are going to take this problem, because the x is already by itself, make it easy on yourselves and put this in to our problem. Put that in for x. So we have 4 times 2y minus 6 equals, oh sorry, not equals, plus 6y equals 4. So draw our box, and we get 4 times 2y, that's 8y. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Plus 6y equals 4. So our problem then looks like 8y minus 24 plus 6y equals 4. Now we have two y's, so we have to combine those first before we do anything else. 8y plus 6y, that's 14y minus 24 equals 4. So to solve for y, we need to add 24 to get rid of that. Those cancel out. We get 14y equals 4 plus 24, which is 28. And divide by 14. And we get y equals 28 divided by 14, which is 2. So our y equals 2. So we don't know what our x is, but we know what our y is. So our y is 2. So now we are going to take that 2 and we're going to replace it with our y. Doesn't matter which one you do, but this one is the easiest because x is already by itself. So what we have then is x equals 2 times 2 minus 6. 2 times 2, that's 4, minus 6. We have x equals 4 minus 6. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So x equals negative 2. So our answer is negative 2, 2. Last problem. We have x minus 2y equals negative 6, and 4x plus 6y equals 4. Now, if you notice on this one, none of our variables are by themselves. So what we need to do first is we need to get our variable by itself on one of these two problems. Well, if you look at this one, we already have an x just sitting here by itself. We have nothing in front of it. So to make your lives easier, we should probably use this equation to get something by itself. That something should be our x. So if we have x minus 2y equals negative 6, to get x by itself, all we need to do is we need to add 2y to get 2y to the other side. So now we have x equals 2y minus 6. Now x is by itself, and we have something we can substitute. This 2y minus 6 is going to go in for our x on the second problem. So what we'll have is then 4 times 2y minus 6 plus 6y equals 4. Then we just need to solve that. We start by drawing our box. So 4 times 2y, that's 8y. 4 times negative 6, that's negative 24. So we have 8y minus 24 plus 6y equals 4. Now we need to combine our y's, and we get 14y minus 24 equals 4. We're going to add 24. $14y equals 28. Lastly, divide by 14. And we get y equals 28 divided by 14, which is 2. So our y equals 2. That means our answers, we don't know our x yet, but we know that our y is going to be 2. So now all we need to do is replace our 2 in for our y. So use the equation that we already found. We already found that x equals 2y minus 6. This one already has the x by itself, so it saves you a step. So we're going to take this 2 and we're replacing it with a y. So we get x equals 2 times 2 minus 6. 2 times 2, that's 4, minus 6. We get 4 minus 6, which is negative 2. X equals negative 2. So our answer is negative 2, 2.